WA7YBS, K0DWC. Copy, Mike?
Well, good morning, Chuck. I'm doing fine on this end. You're doing well on this end.
Yeah, okay. I just heard those guys had that there, so did Trevor get home okay up there in Oregon? Okay, that's good. That's good. It was good to hear him on last week. That was good. I put him on the roster, so I got him. So anyway, how's things over there in Reno this morning?
1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, test. It's working okay.
Well, aside from Vern not identifying while he's tuning, but he can count to 4, everything's okay. So good morning, Vern. Can you hear us, or can you only transmit? And everything's great. Great here, Chuck. Thanks for adding them to the roster. Hey, K0DWC and WA7YBS.
And 6S.
Gonna throw the switch. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, Vern, and we got Ron here, and let's find out if it's Chuck or Carla this morning.
Oh, good morning, fellas. I've been writing you down as I hear you. I got Mike in the 1 spot. Vern, good morning to you too, in the 2 spot. And Ron, I've got you in the 3 spot. Mike and I were just kind of holding the frequency a little bit because the Bible study group there knocked off just a little bit early. So Carla's going to be net control this morning, and I'm just here temporarily until she gets in here, which will be in a minute or two. So, anyway, just real quick, let's see if there's anybody else who wants to check in real quick. Be number 4. You can come now for an early check-in.
W6MQI. W6SSP.
I'm number 6, Bravo, Charlie Daniel.
Okay, guys, sorry for the delay. I was just writing everybody's stuff down. Okay, good morning, Dave. I got you in the 4 spot, W6MQI, and good morning, Steve, W6SSP. I've got you in the 5 spot, sir, and good morning to Bill, in 6, Bravo Charlie Tango in the 6 spot. So is there a number 7 out there I'd like to check in early? You can come now. One more time, is there number 7 out there that's like to check in, didn't really check in for Vince Military Radio.
KB0W, KB0W, South Lake Tahoe.
Well, good morning, Frank. KB0W. This is Whiskey 4 Delta Victor, Quebec, getting ready to start the net. Is there anybody else out there who'd like to check in and be number 8 before I get this going? Please come now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the thing first. So, good morning. This is the vintage military radio net. This is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor, Quebec. My name is Carla, and I will be your net control this morning, hopefully. We will be operating on 3974 KC. The vintage military radio net is a round table AM net that provides an opportunity for hams to operate their vintage military radio gear on the air. Military gear is encouraged, but certainly not required. Check-ins will be given a number that can be used in the handoff. I will call for check-ins at the end of each round table session. If anyone has anything for sale or want, please mention it during your turn on the round table session. So far, get y'all's pencils ready. So far in the number 1 spot, I have W7 Mexico Sierra. Good morning, Mike. And the number 2 is K0DWC Vern. Good morning, Vern. Number 3, NU6F Ron. Good morning to you, sir. And number 4 is W6MQI Dave. Good morning. Number 5 is W6SSP Steve. Good morning to you. And number 6 is N6BCT Bill. Good morning. And number 7 is KB0W Frank. Good morning to you. Is there anybody else like to check in before we do the first round? And be number 8, please come now.
K0DWC in the 8 spot.
Okay, I got Chuck in number 8, K0DWC. Good morning. Is there a number 9 out there would like to check in? Please come now. Okay, there we go. Maybe there'll be somebody after the first go-around. So, let's see, this morning, I am on the ART-13, with my R274, my D104 amplified mic, running about 200 watts, and still working on my first cup of coffee. So we'll go ahead and start with number 1. Send it over to Mike, W7MS, to take it, Whiskey 4 DBQ.
Well, thank you, Carla. Thank you, Carla. Let me start over. W7MS Mike in Reno. Well, good morning to one and all from this location. Signals are good up to this point. This morning, I plugged in the Westinghouse GP7 transmitter, about 80 watts of carrier, suppressor grid modulation on the 803, and listening on the General Electric REX1. So we'll just keep it rolling here on the first round. And I stepped out briefly, so I don't know who's number 2. This is full disclosure, but you know who number 2 is. So good morning to you, W7MS.
That should be working. There goes the linear. Okay, good old 811. Running 100 watts, 6VXY burn. Just tuning up, kind of a preview tune-up to see what would happen if I turned my radio on. You won't believe this, an hour earlier, and I did, the Marauder, to see if it settles down to a constant level of power output. And good old vacuum tubes didn't fail me. It took about 20 minutes and it settles down, and it's got its put in about 12 watts output right now. That's all I'm running it. And I'm hitting it with hitting the AL811H with it. And the paint's looking good. I got to send you guys a picture. I got a it's Heathkit green. It's aging in that wood that some of you saw already. And it's got a green, light 1 pound case. And I got the fan, the muffin fan on there, and that's humming away quietly. And things are starting to really shape up here. And hopefully I'm not overdriving it. I don't think I am. The carrier's settling at 100. I'm kicking up to about 110 with the voice peaks. And located in Groveland, California officially, but I'm in Pine Mountain Lake. And went to the ham radio local. That was an interesting challenge. Local ham radio club, TCaresNet, Christmas party yesterday. They decided to have it in Columbia. And I told them, I grabbed the microphone as they were passing it around and just wanted to let you know that I had patience and I had a good GPS, so I was able to find you. They were really remote in the woods, to say the least. Okay, so I'm turning it over to number 3, which will be W6F Ron. Go ahead, this K6 BXY Victor, EC Roger, Nancy the handle here.
Okay, good deal, Vern and the gang. Pushing the watt meter. Okay, I got no reflected. We're okay. Wow, well, good signals are what I'm getting from everybody so far, so... running, and on the amp, running 100 and, how many? 150 watts. And, also, screen grid modulated, and I've got, receiving on the RAL5. And looks like while I've been gone, I'm still copacetic. All right, good hearing everybody in here this morning. Frank and Chuck, Bill, Steve, Dave, and Vern. We haven't heard about the squirrels. Okay, we heard about the Christmas party, but not the squirrels. And, yeah, anyhow, good deal. Take it away, Dave, W6M, my 630 meter partner.
Alright, it's W6MQI. Alrighty, Ron. TDE Ron, 630 meter Ron. Yeah, this is Dave in Livermore. And we're on the ART-13 this morning. Sitting on the 7584. Got about 140, 150 watts of carrier. And it's 42 degrees out, and looks like some fog out there. It's been foggy quite a bit lately, but it burns off. But yeah, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, finally got myself on 630 meters, and the farthest so far, one of the SDR receivers I've heard myself has been just outside Salt Lake, Utah. So pretty cool stuff. So over to Steve-O, W6SSP, W6MQI. SSP? Yeah. All right, I need some more coffee. Over to you, Steve.
Okay, Dave, very good. Hey, maybe a shot of whiskey and that coffee might help a little bit. Maybe too early for that. Anyway, good morning, everybody. This is Steve, W6SSP, just north of Santa Rosa. Running the usual Collins 75A1 receiver and 32V1 transmitter. And watch out into the dipole, unamplified D104 microphone. And yeah, Dave, I've been following your exploits. You and Andy, you're both exploits on 630 meters. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. You know, I wonder how much better that would work if people were able to put up a full-size antenna, either a loop or a dipole or something like that. I bet it'll make a huge difference, but aren't many people that can do that. Anyway, things going on here this week. I was lucky enough to pick up an antique radio. I haven't bought one for quite a while. This one is a Falco Model 16 Cathedral from 1933. It's their deluxe version. I happen to find it locally at the Restore, which is a surplus building materials place. And they have radios there occasionally, but they're usually way overpriced. Well, this thing looked kind of ugly, so the price was pretty cheap, and even the wife suggested I buy it, so that was a no-brainer. So that's a future project. This thing's huge. It's probably 50% larger than any other cathedral I have, and I have quite a few. Has an 11-tube chassis. Was also able to get the Tempo 2020 working this week, at least most of the way. Now I'll talk about that more on the next pass. So we'll send it over to Bill in beautiful Half Moon Bay and 6 BCT W6 SSP.
Yeah, W6 SSP and 6 Bravo Charlie Tango. We just started on this. It's not that I was a Cambridge fan for the 1502. Which is the common thing at this point in time. Anyway, otherwise, I'm earning a lease up to what I need to do. That's 20 rounds left for you. And it's what I've got. And I haven't got anything else because I haven't got the money to buy it. How like that? I've got to go to this. I was going to do that. Anyway, so that's the story one. Absolutely. And it's around 50 degrees or 15 degrees or something like that outside. And it's been sunny lately. And so there you go. It's over to K0DWC and Bravo
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, good morning, Carlo. Thank you very much for running the net, and Mike, Vern, Ron, Dave, Steve, Bill, and next one up is Chuck. Nothing much new to report here. Still running the same equipment, the Johnson 500 and the 75A Far Collins, and the dipole antenna. The noise up here seems to be a little bit diminished this morning, or the signals are a lot louder, but Mike was his usual 30 over in Reno, but everybody was very easy to copy this morning, and it's a beautiful day up here. So I'll pass it on to Chuck and make one more transmission afterwards. And if I hadn't said it already, Carla, you sound really good on your ART13, and thank you for running the net. Over to you, Chuck, K0DWC. This is KV0W.
Okay, Frank, KB0W. Up at South Lake, you got a rock crusher of a signal down here this morning, Frank. Everybody's loud this morning, but I think right now, anyway, you're kind of top of the heap right now. That Viking 500 is really pounding in here. I mean, pounding in here. Oh, man. Well, good morning to everybody, and thanks for being there this morning. And like I said, everybody's sounding good. I'm on the same rig Carla is, Helicopter 274 ART13, dipole antenna, a couple hundred watts, D104 amped up microphone. So anyway, I will return it back to net control because I'm sure we have probably one or two more check-ins. So W4DVQ, take it. This is K0DWC.
WA7YBS is standing by.
Okay, good morning, Henry. I got you in the number 9. Let me make a call out, see if there's a number 10 by any chance. Is there a number 10 out there would like to check in? Please come now. Okay, nothing heard. So, Henry, go ahead and make a transmission and hand it back to me, W4DVQ. Go ahead, Henry.
Okay, W4DVQ, WA7YBS. And, well, I've heard everybody from Mike on down. So good morning, Mike and Vern, Ron, Dave, and Steve, Bill, Frank, and Chuck, and Carl. So, yeah, this is the restaurant. They'll be safe. So anyway, let's see. We are, let's see, well, first we'll do the temperature. It's 23 degrees this morning, and pretty clear skies so far. And so that's that. We're running another Collins transmitter. This is the 32V1, and I think power output's about 80 watts or so, and got rather down the 600 volt, because the plate voltage, because 700 really pushes it. This is like a 1947 transmitter, so, and it's all original and stuff, so we don't want to tax it too hard with 700 volts on the plate, so we're running 600, and the most you can squeak out of them is about 75, 80 watts or so with the 600 volts on the plate. Also, I run this on a bucking transformer so that it only has 115 volts AC input. And so anyway, that's the microphone is the D104 on the G stand, so it's just direct to grid, no amplifier or anything like that other than the speech amps that are in the 32V1. And collinear array antenna. The receiver I haven't used in a long time. This is the R388. It is a 1952 contract, but when you get into the receiver and start looking at date codes on things, it's actually built sometime after August 1953. So a little bit late on the old order. They're getting everything fulfilled. But at any rate, it was built sometime after August 1953, although it's on a 1952 contract. So anyway, it is a excellent condition. So with that, we'll turn it back to Carl. W4DVQ, WA7YBS.
Okay, WA7YBS, W4DVQ here. Okay, before we go to the second round, last call for first round. Anybody out there like to be number 10, please come now. Okay, with that, nothing heard, but I have to say, Chuck mentioned to me, Dave, W6MQI, that you used to fly helicopters, not to get off any radio stuff here. Well, I just said. But I have always wanted to fly in the Vietnam Huey chopper. I even have a die-cast model of one. And I was lucky enough down in Minden to fly in a Navy trainer, and that thing was like a little hot rod in the sky. I really liked the sound of it and everything. It was perfect. And did a roll with the canopy open over Lake Tahoe. And he even let me fly the thing. He gave me the stick, told me to take the stick over, but it didn't last long because I went into a dive. It steered so easily, and of course, there we go, down. But the Huey chopper and a Corsair. He had a Corsair, but he didn't bring it, of course, because he can't fly two at once. But yeah, I would love to fly at a Corsair. I know they don't make a lot of 2 Sears, but he knew a guy that had one where he could take somebody up. But anyhow, I just thought I'd blurt that out. And I was just wondering, Dave, if you had ever flown in a Huey during all this. But anyhow, enough of my blither blather. So I'm going to go ahead. This is round 2. Hand it up to Mike, W7MS, to take it. Whiskey 4, Delta Victor, Quebec.
Okay, doing a quick frequency check. Well, thanks, Carla. Great comments, W7MS, Mike in Reno. And well, Dave's got some good. He'll gold stamp your successful flight in a rotary wing aircraft, as opposed to. We talked about that, Dave, on an eyeball on his adventures in retirement. But I've got helicopter stories too back from my old MCI days. But all I can say is, well, Bill Meyer, who was fun to fly with, sometime in the after I'd moved to the Bay Area, augured in his Jet Ranger 3. Fortunately, he and his girlfriend survived, but that was the end of his flying career with a steel plate in his head. So certainly a risky business in the helicopter business. But let me see. We'll talk about everybody else. Low frequency operation. Congratulations, Dave, and of course we have Ron on frequency. And welcome, Henry, on the 32V1. Glad to hear you on the as the caboose to this operation. But good morning to you. And relatively warm here. It was a low of when I got up, it was 28 degrees. So I guess we're in the tropics here, relative for the great state of Nevada. So a little elaboration on the GP7. I had this first time in the air 2 years ago. Interesting transmitter. Developmentally goes back to the first half of the 1930s with, I think it was the GN series, which actually there was one discovered in the Pacific Northwest, which was a topic of discussion, which was totally elderly for this series of radios. But the GP7, I'm aware of a GP5. I'm not sure about the earlier permutations, but of course the most unusual aspect is the adventure in early, let's call it avionics, the 800 hertz single-phase 120-volt power supply generator from a carbon pile generator. And this guy currently is being force-fed on 400 hertz single-phase 120 volt, and about a half an amp of 28 volts to run the pilot lights and the relay and the transmitter. And we'll watch it drift up in frequency. That's my next comment. Is the tuning unit in these is not temperature compensated whatsoever. So it drifts like crazy, which is an interesting personality to the transmitter. Originally, I thought it was an issue with the transmitter, but it's no temperature compensation. And the tuning unit essentially is sitting right next to the tube, so it heats up. And I see I'm about 400 hertz high now as I've drifted up in frequency. And that's because I've temperature compensated this guy with a 20 picofarad N2200 capacitor. So now I'm overcompensated. So I kind of drift up, I drift down, but it does prevent the problem of eternally drifting down in frequency. I think with about 4 minutes of key down, I move about 1.5 kilohertz down in frequency. So now I'm somewhere close to 7.4, whether I'm drifting up or down, depending on the heat cycle here on the tuning unit. So that's maybe too much blither blather, to quote Carla. And I took notes this time, so I've got it all figured out. So, Steve, congratulations on the Philco acquisition at Habitat for Humanity. I've never seen a radio there, but I do stop by a couple times a month to check out what's happening in that thrift store. K6 VXY to take it, W7MS.
Gonna throw the switches here and turn down. All set. Yeah, for Ron, is coming up here. Number 3 spot. I didn't have a squirrel report until just before I was to turn it over. He went from a height about, 40 plus feet up, then down lower, and then stopped. I thought I could see him because he's right outside the window, but I guess he's hiding. But he's over there letting me know that I better protect that one line I've got to hold up the antenna at the far end, which I call the plus side of the coax. I don't know that it makes any difference. And let me know that he's just kind of going to be doing something soon. I hope not. Anyhow, it's nice to have everything working and steady and all that. And most of you guys were coming in 20 over, and then they started dropping some of the signals to 10 over. Mike, you're still at 20 over. But boy, the signals were real strong and are remaining strong. And I'm looking at my, it's not a chart, it's a book I put together, a binder of the sunrise, sunset, and we're getting about somewhere between 5 and 7 minutes a week. So every week we get later and later sunrise. So it's pretty good. Right about the end of December, it'll be the same as it was at just before the daylight saving time switch. So we'll get that 60 minutes back. And I'm sure you're all aware of that, but I just decided I'd chart it. It's kind of interesting. Anyhow, I want to say good morning also to Carla, running a great net, Ron, and Dave over there in Livermore, SSB Steve, and M6BCT. BCT, you were holding 10 over. You're doing good. I was starting to go. Frank, you were 10 to 20 over. And DWC, that's running about 10 over, and then kicking in there at the end. Henry, he was strong 20 over, and then started fading to 10 over. But it's only something I can see on the S meter. Listening to it, that sounds the same, but nice and strong. So with all that, I'll turn it over to Ron. So I've got a mini squirrel report there for you. I don't see him right now. Oh, there he is. He's kind of hiding a little, but he seems to be looking this way. Oh, it's my imagination. Let me stand up here. Throw the switches. It's K6BXY. Over to NU6F.
Okay, let's see if meters are, we're moving, modulating, sounds good. Well, good deal on R. I've got not much noise, and signals are interfering. I'm looking over at the SDR to see what the signals are getting in over there, and actually conditions aren't that great for propagation, but it looks like the band noise is just down. So either way, signal to noise is great on R. And it's good having real radio here on the air for a change. And it was fun this week on TWT solar bill of 630 meters. One other TPO with on TW and then left on the Digi mode. But Dave, you blew up my 200 watt amp. Actually yesterday I went on the transmitter, and if I will flash a light out of the corner of my eye, didn't pay any attention, then I'll look at the watt meter and I will 200. They're very inexpensive transistors on the FETs for the 200 watt amp. They're switch mode FETs. capable of all kinds of current, but yeah, sometimes the spiders will SWR change, and sometimes you can take the antenna off. It doesn't care, but anyhow, it went. I thought I had a spare, but I didn't. I got 10 of them coming from Amazon. They're like about 80 cents each. So tomorrow that shows up, and then we'll get the soldering iron out and have that back going. And good deal on Henry on the 32V1, and Chuck on the, let's see, I don't know if you were using Carlos ART or you're both using Carlos ART. And Frank, yeah, as usual, rushing signal from the Johnson 500 down this road. Glad to hear you got some, a little bit less RSI. I've got my ongoing RSI issue from K0DWC radio. As of yet, they still haven't fixed it. I talked to the engineer again this week, and I mean it's like around 489 kc and 30 down, so it's about 50 watts of an R-bulk area, and he fessed up. He says he saw a lot more. But apparently he's out of his league. He asked his boss for a contract engineer to come out, so I'm waiting to see what happens. If that's the case, wow, fun. My noise floor down at 474 kc should drop another 10 dB. And let's see, noise, nothing else. Bill, good signal. Steve, I imagine the digital analog clock project may or may not be getting close to completion. Dave, not sure if you had another project. Well, yeah, you had the PRC 174 clone. Don't remember. Let's see, well, was it the TRC 77 you were using making the VFO mod for that guy? And Mike, on the TP7, yeah, because I don't hear the 800 hertz, and I don't hear the 400 hertz. So, whatever it is, besides not drifting now, it hasn't got any extra carrier from the power supply. Okay, with that, take it away, Dave. W6MQI and U6F.
And U6F, W6MQI. And you can hear the dyno motor in the background humming away. But, yeah, got a little bit going on here. 630 meters, like Ron had mentioned. That's up and going. Like I said in the past, I had to feed the inverted L that I use on 160 meter backwards, because there's no way I could walk from the shack over to the feed point where I have my auto tuner at the base of the tower, you know, through the yard, and it's like there's no way the wife was going to accept that. So I cut the wire right there at the tuner, put an insulator in there, and then I, at the other end, lowered the end, attached almost another 50 feet of wire on to get back to the shack. And I hated to do it, but I had to punch a hole through the side of through the wall, exterior wall, to get into the shack. And I was worried about I don't know, starting a fire. Probably wouldn't have happened, but anyway, I put a fiberglass tube through the wall and ran the wire through that. And then I have a couple of beehive type insulators. Actually, the wire does not go through the wall. It's a piece of all thread. And the antenna attaches to the outside of the wall, and from the tuner, another piece of wire attaches to the inside of the wall on the other side of the all thread. That's how I have it going through the wall. But that works really well. No RF in the shack. I was surprised about that. with an antenna standing about 3 feet from my head, and all panel the meters and stuff are per the book. You know, I was surprised to see that. The CU32 works really well. I was hearing myself in Salt Lake City, or just outside of Salt Lake, north of Salt Lake City. Wasn't hearing myself on the East Coast, but those relays drive you batty. Trying to have that QSO with Ron, I couldn't even hear myself think. I don't even know if I was spelling anything right. Clang, 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 clang. But I've been looking at my Kenwood TS590. I was actually hearing Ron, no problem on that. It goes down to 630 meters. And I'm going to investigate about whether or not I can get it to transmit. I think I can. There's actually an output for a transverter in the back of the 590. So I'm looking into that. And yeah, it's fun. It's something new. And Carla, yeah, it's been a long time, 35 years probably, since I strapped myself into a rotating mass of metal fatigue surrounded by an oil leak. I have never been in a 206. The Huey. I've flown 206s. Flown 206s, but my previous employer, where I would hit for a while when I was going out to some of the test ranges. Actually, I don't know if it was a good experience or what, but I actually got to fly in a CH-53. That's the big heavy lift helicopter. Oh my God. That thing was so loud inside. The jet engines are right above your head, and it was hydraulic fluid everywhere. It's like we're hanging off for dear life. You're just slipping and sliding. It was loud. It was quite the experience. They did have Hueys with it, but I never got a chance to fly on one of those. But yeah, they're fun, but they're extremely dangerous machines. I have no desire to get back in one, flying or anything, but it was fun while it lasted. I thought maybe I was wanting to do it as a career, and the company ended up having one of their helicopters go down and killed somebody, and they ended up getting sued, and I kind of just drifted away from it and met my wife, and she didn't want me to do any part of it anymore, so I cut my losses and got out of aviation. But it was fun while it lasted. So that's the short of it there for you, Carla. And it sounds like you figured it out, though. You push the stick forward, the houses get bigger. Pull it back, they get smaller. That's all you need to know, right? All right, over to Steve, W6SSP, W6MQI.
Okay, Dave, W6MQI, W6SSP. Boy, that's about the shortest flying lesson I've ever heard. Probably one of the best. Oh, Carla, yeah, I would love to just see a Corsair. Very, very distinctive aircraft. One of my favorites from World War II. And, when you first look at it, you think it's got an inline engine, but that's not true. It's got that Whitney radial. I think it's the 970 engine, but I'm not sure about that. Neat airplane. And at one point in my career, I thought about getting into vintage aircraft, and my favorite, still is my favorite, is a World War II trainer called the Spearman biplane. And it turns out that after I purchased this house, it has a large attached garage, and I found out after I bought it from a neighbor that the previous owner had 2 Stearmans stored in their garage. Talk about chroma. Anyway, that never happened. Flying is expensive, even with the Cessna 150s and 72s and stuff like that. So, I want to
in another direction, British powders. They're not cheap either. Anyway, so that's nice with the GT7, very distinct looking transmitter, especially with those big pilot lights. Neat thing, it's nice to hear when I'm here, and Ron with your TDE, I hear the motor generator in the background, sounds great. Conditions are starting to fade a little bit, but still, everybody's still holding up fairly well. I want to talk a little bit about the project this week. That is the Tempo 2020, which is an early hybrid radio using a pair of 6146s driven by a 12DY7. Kind of on the verge of interest for this group, but a couple of interesting points about it. It shares one neat thing with the R390A, and that is the front panel actually, after you remove, I think, 3 knobs and a few screws, the front panel will actually drop down 180 degrees. But even better than the R390, which when you do that, it's hanging on its wiring harness, they actually put in a couple of pivot points in the 2020. So no stress, no problems with broken wires or anything like that. Makes servicing very, very easy. And this thing needed a lot of servicing. I won't get into that, but one other interesting feature is that the VFO only tunes in 100 kc segments. And there are 5 push buttons associated with this thing, and so you can tune from like 14.0 to 14.1 with 1 push button, and then 14.2 to 14.3, and so forth. So what that does is it allows the VFO to be very linear, very stable, since it's only tuning a fairly narrow range of frequencies. So pretty cool little radio. It's even better if the power switch practically caught on fire, but that's another story. So we'll send it over to, let's go, Phil, N6BCT, W6SSP.
And it caused all the oil to get the root plant and just made the engine fail. And that was in the airplane, really, because I landed it on a access road to a land station in Southern California, there's another story. I got the engine running and stuff like that, but then I didn't have any money, so one of the guys offered to buy it, so I sold it, and I haven't got another airplane. I sold an airplane in World War II, was the P-78. That was a really neat airplane. Anyway, so that's the story there on our airplane. And so it's over to
Bill turned it over to you, K0DWC to take it, W4DBQ.
Okay, well, very good. Yeah, Bill sort of faded out. In fact, the band is getting a little weaker. That beautiful AM sound is sort of going away. And okay, Carla. Okay on your UE dreams. Never seen a real one, but they certainly are in a lot of the movies. And Mike, I didn't hear any drift at all on your transmitter, so I think you got the problems solved. And Vern, yeah, thanks for the update on the 7 minutes a week. I never had it quantified, but that sure does make sense because signals are so much better earlier this morning. And Ron, okay on your screen grid modulation. Sounds really good. Sounds excellent, actually. Dave, okay on your pilot career. Quite honestly, I really don't want to fly in anything that doesn't have wings. I mean, that's dangerous enough. God Almighty. But I've never been in a chopper, but it would be fun once. And Steve, okay on your cathedral radio, and your 32V1 sounds nice too. Still S9 on that transmission. Bill, you were copy there, full copy for a while, but you faded out. But it was good to hear your signal earlier this morning. My Cessna's in for its annual inspection, and which is expensive, and they're going to fix that leaky tank gasket at the same time. So I'm sort of out of the air for a while. It's about 37 degrees up here, so I guess we're in a warm zone compared to down in the valley. And gosh, the lower signal to noise ratio was really good earlier on. Pretty much just doing a lot of East Coast 40-meter CW stuff. It's interesting how the certain areas light up one week and another area lights up another week. But having fun with talking with my fingers. And let's see, that's about it. I've got my partner here, Susan's still got her problem, so I'm going to have to bail out after this. So this will be my final transmission. Look forward to hearing everybody on the net next week, and I'll turn it over to you, Chuck. Your ART13 sounds great, and Henry, your 80 watts was still bringing on your previous transmission 30 over, so it sounds real nice. Okay, 73 to everybody. See you next week. Over to you, Chuck. W0DWC, KB0W, South Lake Tahoe.
Okay, Frank, KB0W, K0DWC. We still got a big signal in here this morning. Everybody's still doing fine here. I mean, even Bill was strong here. Yeah, good all the way around. Reports. Ron, the TDE sounds great. It's good to hear that back on. I think it's been a while since that's been on, but it sounds fantastic. Those are pretty cool. They're pretty cool radios. And well, of course, today's December 7th, and we all know the significance of that day, but I don't think TV's going to be showing any war movies. Anyway, it's good to recognize those guys. God bless them. Henry, I don't know why, but somehow I missed what you were running for a transmitter. I got the R388, but I don't know if it was the AGD or not. I'm probably wrong. I usually am. But maybe you could tell me that so I could write it down on the paper, the transmitter. But yeah, you know, those Huey choppers and stuff, I got to see a lot of those. When I was a kid growing up, we lived right across from Andrews Air Force Base. And, you know, I got to see a lot of good things and some ugly. Good. I agree with Frank. If I was to pull up in something, I'd rather have the wings. I've been up. I've flown from coast to coast before. That was back in the 70s. And took us to Bear Lake one time up there by Yellowstone. You know, that was okay because it didn't get too high. But boy, I tell you what, when that seaplane hit the water, you talk about something that was loud. It hurt my ears. I was holding my ears when that thing hit the water. But anyway, I guess it over to Henry, WA7YBS. Can't take it. This K0.
Okay, Chuck. Yeah, you're cutting out on your audio. Sounds like the either a contact problem or push to talk or something like that. Carrier's there. Carrier never changes, but the audio goes away completely. Probably might cable the connector or maybe the push to talk bar. But anyway, that's what it sounds like. 73 Frank, and yeah, very good on all of this stuff. Yeah, I'm over in the corner of the shack, so I really can't see the scope. I had the little DPO OS 350p on for a while, monitoring the signal, so I could tell, you know, it was doing okay. But that thing runs on battery, so I didn't want to have it on for an hour, especially not doing anything but listening. So anyway, that was that. Let's see, Philco 16s. Yes, there's 3 of those, 11 tubers. And I assume you got the regular old Philco 16, which was a true cathedral. And then they had the 16B, I think it was, which is kind of a tombstone deco-ish sort of thing. And then there was a 116B, which was a little more modernized, not quite so deco. They all used that 11 tube chassis with the shadow graph meter in it. And they were, you know, they had good audio, pretty good machine. I had the 116, and you know, that's, I think out of the whole group, that's the ugly one, the really ugly version is the 116. And that was, you know, that's a characteristic of Philco. They were always pushing, I don't know what you call it. It's really not true deco, but, you know, Philco made some pretty ugly radios, you know, and they were capable of really good engineering. And, but, you know, they just made a lot of cheap radios. And so everybody kind of got the idea that Philco, yeah, they're cheap radios, but, you know, they were capable of, they made 1 or 2 of those 20-tube chassis high-fidelity jobs, and I have a 15-tube high-fidelity Philco, and I can't remember the number of it, but at any rate, that thing has a pair of 6A3s for the output tubes. And it's got 3 passive radiators and 1 12-inch driver. That's pretty cool radio. Ugly as can be, but it does sound great. So there you go. That's Philco. Sounds good, but awfully ugly. And well, I tell you, when they went into air conditioners and refrigerators and all of that stuff, really for them, radio became an appliance. And essentially that's what was the undoing of Philco, was viewing radio as an appliance. So anyway, let's get it back over to Carl. Oh, incidentally, I'm running the 32V1 there, Chuck, and it's about 80 watts or so output power. If I got a strong signal, its conditions and the collinear array are helping, but conditions are changing, so let me get it back to Carla. W4DBQ WA7YBS.
K0DWC W4DVQ here. Thanks for the transmitter info there, Henry. Chuck wanted me to let you know. Thanks a lot for telling me all that helicopter stuff and planes. I can't imagine being in that real huge helicopter with oil everywhere. It sounded like an ocean nightmare. But I can't believe they would let it leak all over like that. I know it's old equipment and everything, but oh my gosh. Wonder if you were to slide out the door on some kind of swift surface from the oil. I couldn't imagine. But anyhow, I'm sure they have them strapped in. Got to put on your galoshes, huh? But yeah, I just, not the blither blather, I know. I'll be quiet after this round, I guess. Because it is a 73 round. So, now I lost my train of thought. Oh, that trainer plane. Yeah, he flew that plane from New Jersey down to Minden. And he gave me a certificate. I have a certificate. I got pictures of me sitting in the cockpit, standing by the front propeller and all that good stuff. I had my flyer sunglasses on and my fighter jacket and all kinds of stuff. But I almost made a QSL card out of it. Never got done with that. But thanks for all that. And let's see. Okay, I'm sure I don't know if there is somebody out there who would like to check in and go with us on the 73 round. If there is, if you want to check in and be number 10, please come now. Okay, so this is the 73 round. I want to say 73's to Frank. Hope you have a good day. And I'm going to hand it up to Mike. W7MS, W4DVQ.
Well, okay, Carla. And just for a demonstration here. That's CW in the GP7. And no tone generator necessary. They just removed the filter cap from the power supply, so that's 800 hertz B plus hit in the finals. W7MS, Mike and Reno again. Well, good reception from all, and for Frank, hope everything's well with Susan, or she's, you're doing the right thing, and hope she's on the road to recovery. And Carla, we love blither blather. That's what we're here for. This is amateur radio, or as the antiquated term, ham radio. We're all hams in the old sense. So we're going to occupy this frequency with some intelligent conversation. It's all fun. But great run on your adventures, low frequency adventures. Dave's clickety-clack, which, quite annoying, because that certainly isn't giving you any feedback on your fist pumping. It's kind of a phase-related issue with the relays, but great to hear that story. Their elaboration on flight stories, et cetera, et cetera. I think on the UH1 category, the Huey category, I think just again, it brings all these memories that are probably don't have any continuity with the conversation here necessarily, but was involved with some lift work up at Ward Peak in my MCI days, lifting batteries up to the site from the parking lot there at the ski resort. And they were using a UH1, and extremely impressed, since all my flying was just in a Jet Ranger or a Hughes 500, but big jump in girth, weight, and complexity. It's just, and not to mention that characteristic Huey whoppity, which of course in Vietnam the enemy didn't have to visualize the aircraft; they heard it coming. There was no mystery at all in that operation. And Steve, great on the Tempo 2020. I had two. One became a parts donor. I obtained those what, 4 or 5 years ago from the Val Tompkins estate. So a nice radio. You made some good observation on their design goals, like the 100 kilohertz PTO VFO, which really, yeah, exactly as you described, is and then running everything else with that synthesizer for the steps. It was quite an advancement workaround from the drift standpoint and dial linearity. It is excellent, no doubt about that. So I'm glad that's successful. And glad you got the documentation from John. And I'm going to have to hit John up for that decent schematic, because I've got that crappy PDF, steam-powered PDF that's unreadable. So I'm sure John's listening, so you can shoot me a PDF of the schematic that actually you can read. So congratulations on that restoration effort, and also Henry's elaboration on the Foco lineage. I think on vintage broadcast radios, well, I can raise my hand and say I did something. I replaced the batteries in my Foco Mystery Remote, circa 1940. I don't recall the exact model year for that console, but I am the second owner. I bought it from the original owner 30 years ago. And, of course, quickly realized there was really nothing to listen to on the AM broadcast band, but it was fun to hear things go clicker clacker. Know that I do have a functional mystery remote. And also for Ron, I hope you don't cost that station engineer quotation marks for KOHH's job. But, well, we won't go there, because I do have certain opinions. And as I said in the text message, no rants here, and no rants on text messages. Maybe for eyeballs in the restaurant. But probably missing some issues here. Yeah, Chucky, we're dropping out audio-wise, but you know, it's I'm sure you know the cause and it's remedied. So, what can one say other than 7-3s from Reno? It's been fun, and we'll listen out here through the rotation. So K6VXY. W7MS.
K6VXY. Yeah, the signal conditions have changed. It's been about an hour. And your signal's dropping down. Most of your F9 getting the pin over a little bit. Voice beam. Some of the, Chuck, I thought it was fading, but I guess it was your microphone. And it's difficult to hear a lot of people. It'd be nice to get another 7. Sometimes it's a little less than 7 minutes a week, but that's kind of an average. You can almost calculate on with 4 1/3 weeks, you get close to half an hour a month, a little less than that. It'd be nice to get some darkness here. Anyhow, I gotta say 73, so I'm kind of tired. I got up a little early today. I decided to do some work and just stay up. It's nap time coming. 73's all nice, and we'll see you again next week. Over to NU6F, K6VXY, 73's all.
Okay, good deal. Wow, yeah, signals are dropping quick. Everybody's down in the mud. I see my signal's down to an S3 and to KPH, so won't hold it. All right, gang. Thanks a lot for all. Good deal, Dave, on not starting St. Elmo's fire. Yeah, I did burn a little chunk of fence board and a little bit of everything else out where the loading coil is. So it doesn't take. Yeah, it doesn't take too much. And I'll talk on the Cathedral radios, Foco high fidelity, and Mike with your remote. I didn't know they had such a thing. Well, that's pretty high tech. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. With that, take it away, Dave. W6MQI, NU6F. Listening out.
All right, NU6F, W6MQI. Map conditions starting to fade. I think the delay is starting to kick in. I can barely hear you there, Ron. So, all right, guys. Good talking to you this morning. And Bill, Tri-Pacer. Yep, that's a neat little aircraft. I had a friend that had a Piper Colt. The same thing. So pretty cool. And I think you said you flew P-38s. I didn't quite catch that, but that's pretty neat. So anyway, 73s, everybody. Over to Steve. If you're still there, it's W6SSP, W6MQI.
Anyway, Ron, if you're able to hear me, I did finish the second primary clock, the nerd clock, I call it. And it's right here in the station. Every once in a while you build a homebrew something or other, and it just turns out really, really well. This is one of them, so I built the second one. And a bonus for me is with failing eyesight, I can still read these things at 15 feet. Whereas a red LED clock, I can barely read them at 5 feet. So really nice feature for this guy anyway. And Henry, if you're still able to copy, you're pretty weak today on the K0DWC. I also run mine off of 115 volts and the low tech, particularly 600 volt tech on the high voltage state transformer. And I wanted to compliment you on the latest updated article on the 51J series. Read that last night. I started to read it last night. It's excellent as always. And I was surprised to note that the R388s, some of them had that warning sign on it, but not many. Well, it turns out mine does have that. I didn't realize that they didn't all have that. So, I was very fortunate to get the R388 and the 51J4 from Silent Sea for a reasonable price, and these things are just in mint condition, but of course both of them are missing the covers. I didn't know if these are missing the covers. I also have a 51J2, but it's not quite as much. It's pretty nice, but not quite as much as you would approve. And I guess that's it for me. We'll see you all next weekend. And we'll send it down to Bill, M6BCC, W6SSP73. Okay. Yeah, I think that intermittency I've got is not the microphone, it's me. I'm trying something different this time. Henry, tell me if I'm intermittent this time. I've got the band on the mic all the way up on the push-pull switch. I'm not touching the microphone right now. So, Henry, let me know if I'm intermittent on that. week. I'll say my 7-3, guys, and thank everybody for being there. And Henry will be next control next Sunday. And I'll talk to you guys again next week. So with that, I'll say my 7-3. Thank you for being there. We appreciate the support. And I'll send it over to Henry. WA7YBS, K0DWC.
Okay, Chuck, K0DWC, WA7YBS. Yeah, no, it was no dropout that time. It was solid audio all the way. So, very good. Yeah, it's, let's see. Well, thanks, Steve, for attempting to read the 51J series write-up there. Yeah, I added a lot of stuff to that. And, I get a lot of information from Nick England, their Navy radio guy. He's another R38851J4 collector of information. And if you go to Navy Radio, Navy-radio.com, and get on the R38851J4 portion of his massive website, he's got a lot of serial numbers tied to Collins manufacturing numbers and all kinds of interesting information like that it really helps in kind of nailing down how Collins was anything but consistent. I think they changed about every month of the way they did things. When you try to get them nailed down to doing one thing, they changed all the time. Makes the kind of figuring out the chronology of their manufacturing difficult. But anyway, enough of that. I'm probably just off in the ether somewhere anyway, with no propagation to back up the signal. So with that, I'll say 73 to everybody, and I'll be net control next week, so we'll hope to hear everybody then. Over to Carla, W4DBQ, WA7YBS 73.
Okay, WA7YBS, W4DBQ here. Thank you guys so much for participating this morning, a little ham family. But this is W4DBQ, securing the vintage military radio net. I would like to thank everyone for their participation and invite everyone back next Sunday morning. We are now turning the frequency over to regular amateur use. This is W4DBQ signing off. 73, guys.